Welcome back into European Masters. We're getting ready for Game 2 of the semifinals between Go Rogue and LDLC Ultraliga. They looked so clean in that first game that I'm just wondering now, does LDLC have anything left in the tank to be able to battle back?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question the analyst desk was definitely trying to figure out right there. A lot of focus of the conversation was thrown around the jungle where, you know, we saw TynX jump out to a pretty big lead. You know, we got 2 levels individually over that Jarvan, but as a Trundle, like, that's never going to convert into a whole lot for the rest of your team. So this is a situation where, like, maybe we need to see TynX on something that has scaling option. We've seen Graves be a good thing in the past, but also as a bigger picture, it's not just about how do you put TynX on something that can carry. It's more of compositionally, they were just outmatched. They had all these melee champions that were never going to be able to stick onto a Cassiopeia and onto an Ezreal. So they were sort of shooting themselves in the foot already from the draft phase. I need to see some big changes in how they approach this draft, especially because we're on the same exact sides, blue side for LDLC.
But credit where credit is due for a Go Rogue. You look at how they drafted. They ban Zoe, they ban LeBlanc, they pick Ezreal, they pick Akali. Those are the 4 most played by Vétheo on the other side this tournament. He hasn't really played anything else besides Echo. Then he's put on to Sylas where he doesn't feel as comfortable, doesn't look as confident as he had been in the past. They aimed towards this mid lane, said, Czekolad, you're the one who has been doing so well in the quarterfinals in the knockout stage. We're going to put a lot of prevalence and a lot of pressure for you to be able to succeed.
Yeah, so we're probably going to see Rogue just run for a lot of the same things. I think bans will probably stay very similar with a Zoe LeBlanc both being taken away. As soon as Vétheo can't play that, you have to sort of maybe revert towards a lot of these melee picks that we saw towards that middle lane. But then, will the first pick still be the Trundle for LDLC? We saw, you know, the Ezreal go first phase over for Rogue on the other side. And while that wasn't the end of the world for LDLC within that game, in the way the teamfights actually played out, like, if the game was closer, that pick was going to be pretty game defining there too. I don't think I would see LDLC going for a first pick for that themselves, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of blinding the Trundle here in this series.
Same here. I don't think it worked out for them too well. Even if Zanzarah had gone for something like Sejuani, I just don't think it would have mattered. Their composition was about those team fights. For how it was able to pan out, the Jarvan worked very well in its pick potential tool. It even gave a little bit more pressure early for Zanzarah, but they're going back to the basics, still going for that Trundle.
Okay, so last time they then followed up with a Misfortune and a Yuumi. I think so. If we start seeing a lot of the same things, right? And we assume that Rogue are going to go for the comp that plays for the team fights, plays for, you know, the later stages of the game. I actually think one of the things maybe you should mix up would be the Yuumi, but then you of course run into the issue where then you actually give the Ezreal Yuumi over to the other side, right? You know, I say give up the Yuumi because you need a champion that can maybe force things a little bit harder, but LDLC, you have to make some. Yeah, I know, exactly. It's like you're putting yourselves in a terrible position, and all this happens because they haven't mixed anything up so far.
But this is something that we praised Rogue for in their series against Mouse. Even though they ran back the same comp, they understood why they were running back. They understood what they were doing to the other side. They were forcing their competition to have to try to draft around what had just happened, but also put themselves into holes immediately off the bat by grabbing Akali Ezreal again. They're saying, do you want to go for Misfortune and for Yuumi in the bot lane again? Varus is something that has been played a lot by Hades and wasn't picked last time. I wonder if maybe that could be the change that they're looking for.
Yeah, the Varus. Whoa,
yeah,
okay.
That's not a Varus.
I think. Could this be a bot lane Yasuo here? Because, Yasuo traditionally does well in the early laning phase up against the Akali, but then post level 6 is usually when, like, Akali would start to take over. So I don't like it as, like, the obvious answer up into an Akali. But potentially, like, if you were trying to make moves down towards bot side, I could see it happening. Yasuo also a really good champion when it comes to sort of, like, 1v2ing lane if you wanted to take, like, a roaming support with it. So you can either pair, like, the all-in supports that are looking to knock up in lane when you play through your jungler, or, you know, when he just needs farm under tower, he has his wind wall to pretty easily do that too. So they've got some solid options here, and with the Ornn making sure that they get that now so it doesn't get banned out in second rotation, you secure engage, you secure that molten edge for Yasuo later on, and also the knockups in the team fights.
But look at this, Rogue still adapting. They've grabbed Renekton this time. That was banned at the second rotation by LDLC in game 1, something that Szygenda has been an absolute monster on. If I look look at my stats really quick to see what his stats are on that champion, not only is he 3-0, he's played at 3 games, he's only died once. That was back in the very first time a Go Rogue played it against LDLC that he actually died.
Wow. I like it. I like the Renekton here for Rogue coming on in here. Also gives them a lane to try and play on through, especially if we see it go deathless for yet another game here. Does give Zanzarah some early game options and some clear places to look. Now, all these Enchanter supports getting banned away. Do we just see Mystiques on the Bard one more time? I'm inclined to believe we do, because Bard Ultimate doesn't get stopped by Wind Wall. Bard Ultimate will ruin an Ornn's day if he's trying to call in the Forge God. You drop that down, but they ban it themselves.
Okay. And the Sejuani on the other side to be able to... Something that
Maybe
actually...
it's a Braum.
That's what I was
Maybe
about to
it's
say.
a Braum.
The only thing I can really see here is that they're going to go for Braum, a little bit of disengage, but also something that can help peel for Woolite if they want to. And then, because you already have the backline. You already know Akali, Renekton are going to be diving deep and try to see who they can kill. So you need something to be able to peel nicely for Woolite, keep him safe in the backline, even though it is Ezreal and he's somewhat slippery. But they go for Rek'Sai here instead. Okay.
Wow. Okay, so this is a very different look for
is.
Rogue in this game. They basically said that they want some more early game power here with the Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai is going to be looking to play through this Renekton, wherever it ends up going after they see their final matchups here. It's also red side Renekton, so top lane ganks are in. The way the terrain is laid out on the map makes it much more favorable for Rek'Sai to be ganking top side when he's, or rather when she's, on the red side there. And now with the Braum getting snapped away here, from LDLC, I feel like Mystiques has to have something special prepared for this one.
That's what I'm wondering too. So I'm like looking at the notes. I'm wondering.
It's gonna be Tahm Kench, by the way.
That's why I like Tahm Kench is what I'm seeing as like
so special.
That's the only thing I'm really seeing. Honestly, I don't see much. Maybe Zilean, he's played it before, but the Tahm Kench is the one that kind of sticks out to me. Janna as well. They are kind of
actually,
but I think Tahm Kench
I
is
much
more.
prefer.
Yeah.
I much prefer like a Janna or a Zilean here. Like legitimately, when you're up against that Braum, you're not even going to be pressured by taking more of a scaling option. You get that backline peel as well. Of course, you don't have any way to interrupt that Ornn when he's calling in the Forge God. But what's it going to be?
Whoa. Rakan.
Just kidding. We're going full dive now instead. So I thought with an Ezreal in this comp and with so much dive on the other side, that they'd say, let's play back with this Ezreal. Instead, Rogue is saying, what if we just all dive in and Woolite, you know, you've been doing a couple of, like, dive in with us. We'll just have a great time jumping in towards the back line.
It reminds me of the submarine comp back in 2018 with Cloud9 when they were able to make it to the semifinals. They beat a Freak of Freaks, and it was what I called the submarine comp. Every single champion was able to dive into the backline. They would draft Kai'Sa, so that way she could jump into the backline too. No matter what, they were going to kill who was ever behind everyone. In this case, being Vétheo on Cassiopeia, someone who does well into the late game, but you take her out, well, you lost a lot of your damage.
But here's the thing, right, is that Rogue have sort of walked into a very similar trap that LDLC walked into last game, which is you have a lot of these melee champions that are trying to get into the backline against a Cassiopeia, and that is not going to be an easy task, especially when there's all these other pieces around the Cassio that also have excellent peel options there too. Also playing Ezreal versus the Braum Shield and the Yasuo Wind Wall, not going to be fun at all here, so I really need to see Zanzarah make an early impact in this game and, you know, start his team off on the right foot.
This is where they need to be able to get the snowball rolling quickly. Use Zanzarah to be able to push around TynX. He's playing Trundle. Even though he did well on the Trundle last time, he did fall off in that mid game. He struggled to be able to work with the team on where he had to position. Zanzarah has more agency. We talked about it last time, whereas Jarvan, oh, great, get agency. You can play strong into this matchup. Rek'Sai, she does even more in the early game. Really wants to be able to help out Szygenda and Czekolad, who are playing two snowball champions in Renekton and Akali.
Yeah, I wonder if there was going to be any sort of level 1 plays here too. And I like the ward coming on down here because Rek'Sai quite weak at level 1. You know, when we're looking at the Jarvan, he unlocks around level 2. The Rek'Sai unlocks around level 3 here. And starting on the red buff tells me that Zanzarah likely going to be trying to path down here. I do believe he knows that there is a ward on his Raptor camp, so can try to avoid that one himself. And here's the thing, right, as you're talking a lot about how Rek'Sai, I would like to see go around topside. That's the lane that's probably the easiest 2 gank. Bot lane 2 with the Yasuo, you know, another melee champion going to be pushing on down here. You have the setup from a Rakan as well. Be a good area of the map for Zanzarah to look for as well in this one.
Definitely good options for Zanzarah. See who you're going to be able to play around. Even though I do look at this bot lane, Woolite, Mystiques playing Ezreal, Rakan, they have good engage tools. They can poke at Hades and YellOwStaR if they want to. There's good disengage on the side of LDLC as well. It's also hard for Ezreal to clear out very quickly into Hades, so I assume that soon there's going to be a frozen lane outside of the turret range that Hades and YellOwStaR are going to try to set up.
Yeah, there's options here for Zanzarah too, you know, even around mid lane. But the thing is, with early vision control in that river, Zanzarah can't do too much himself. There's also a deep ward placed inside of the lane, so Hades and YellOwStaR clearly thinking that Zanzarah, and knowing they started up towards the top side, could be looking for maybe a potential lane gank after bouncing this cannon minion on off here, but I don't think Zanzarah really has any good opportunities based on the lane states at the moment. Probably just takes the blue buff and then pass back towards top unless play happens.
Well, they're looking to see if they can get concussive blows. They even use the Ignite already onto Mystiques. Zanzarah gonna fight with TynX in the river, but Mystiques barely alive. You can see that Woolite wanted to see if he could get the first blood, but it's gonna be TynX flashing in to get himself that kill. Woolite already flashed in to try to see if he can get the dash on to Hades. Has to go to the Alco to try to see if he can escape. Waiting for the timer, see if he can get the damage back onto Hades, but unfortunately he just can't. Conqueror was able to heal him up too much, and now Zanzarah way too far out. Was able only to get the knock onto TynX, having to flash over the pillar to be able to get out of there alive.
A complete disaster down there in the bottom lane. I don't think Zanzarah actually saw the tremors there from TynX, because Mystiques is flashing into the river towards a full HP Trundle that's just already free firing on towards the Rek'Sai. So once again, it is TynX gaining the upper hand inside of the early game, but this time it is Hades who is the benefactor here too. Gonna get a lot off that move.
And we talked about the snowballing of a Renekton and Akali. Yasuo as well has that ability to be able to get out of control.
Oh, no.
All the while mid lane, Czekolad, he flashed too little too late to be able to get away from the twin fangs of Vétheo. This is the second gank in a row, and only 4 minutes to go well for TynX.
Okay, we'll break down this bot lane play first, but we have to appreciate how unfair Pillar plus Miasma is in that middle lane. So LDLC go very, very hard right here. It's right at the same time that TynX realizes Zanzarah is here. Now, Zanzarah must have been looking at bot side, because looking at that, Zanzarah had info that TynX was there via the tremor sense. So either he was unaware or he was not calling towards his bottom lane. Regardless, that means that Mystiques flashes the wrong direction there into TynX's waiting arms, and it looked like for a second even Zanzarah was going to go down here too. Luckily had the flash and of course the tunnel there set up from the last play too.
Look at this, TynX immediately was able to clear out Scuttle Crab, go mid lane, like you said, Pillar, Miasma, not really too fair. Czekolad also had dashed a little bit forward, so it means that there's no escape tool.
He can't leave it.
No.
He got stuck there. He was just about to go out, and then TynX said, no, yeah, you're coming back in here. Come back with me, and that is real bad news now for the side of Rogue.
This is why so many people have highlighted TynX as this player to be careful and be wary of in the early game. The amount of pressure he's already gotten at only 5 minutes into the game. It's a 2,000 gold lead nearly, and that's only from the first 2 ganks this Trundle was able to get. Getting Yasuo ahead, getting Cassiopeia a bit ahead of Akali as well, is not going to bode well for Rogue in this mid game.
I mean, you just look at the gold advantages, right? The jungle where it's almost 1k, and now Mystique's gonna get stunned up here. Can't even get out.
No, he wanted to get Battle Dance, but he had to use Grand Entrance to be able to get the Grand Escape out of the fight. Winter's Bite was able to get the knock on to Rakan, but Hades actually taking a bit too much damage from Woolite. Had to use Tornado just to get the knockup.
Yeah, but there's no flashes here, and TynX is on the way, ready to go in.
They're just going to try to see if they can get Battle Dance for Mystiques away. Get Smote, but he actually is now ignited and bitten by TynX.
Oh,
Fourth
no.
kill of LDLC, and that is all off the back, 100% from TynX.
It's just a disaster right there. Like, Hades gets taken down so low, and Rogue are like, oh, we can outplay. But you have no vision, you have no jungler in the area. Even if Zanzarah was there, the item difference between these two junglers is ridiculous. But Bando takes some damage topside. The one shining light is Szygenda here for Rogue.
Yeah, but Bramblefest was picked up by Bando, making it a little bit more difficult for Szygenda to go for those all-in plays onto Ornn. He can always heal up, and then having Grievous Wounds, Szygenda can't heal up as well as he would like to with Call of the Make, so not really the kill threat you'd want from this Renekton.
Yeah, with Zanzarah there, they could have looked for a dive, but Bando will smartly back on out of here. And again, Zanzarah being 2 levels under one more time, you know, completely destroyed in terms of itemization as well. It means that he can't really look for any proactive plays himself unless he has like the actual like longitude, latitude of exactly where TynX is on the map. Because if there's any chance of TynX coming in for a counter gank, he just can't go for it. It's just not possible. That is how far behind he is, that no even fight where both junglers are there is going to go Rogue's way.
Not at all. And you're having Rek'Sai fall as far behind a Trundle early game. When you have a Renekton, when you have an Akali, things that want to be able to snowball, you're about getting ahead early, and it's not happening for Rogue. They have to go back to a new plan. They have to fall back onto something else, but for LDLC, it doesn't matter if they fall back to plan B for Rogue. They still have these little leads that they can now use around these objectives.
Yeah, LDLC in a very comfortable position. You could see a bit of what I was talking about in Draft 2, where Hades can actually 1v2 bot lane. Like, there's not too much pressure coming on in him. Because of the passive, of course, that gives him the shield and the wind wall. It's so easy for him to, you know, go ahead and pick up these minions. Has fallen a teeny bit behind here, but that is to be largely expected for the time being. And now just trying to freeze the lane on their side of the map means that they can jump on, you know, Woolite or Mystiques. If they overposition, it means that Woolite has to play super, super scared, because if there's a chance that TynX is in the area, well, they've got to be ready for that.
And it's that same problem we mentioned before with Ezreal in this early part of the game. Having to go for tier means you're delaying damage that you can provide for fights. You're not going to be that scary. This is why Hades, YellOwStaR, they're like, all right, we can freeze the wave. We're always going to have this pressure now onto you if TynX wants to be able to play bot side, but he doesn't have to. He can go for these objective plays. He can take Rip Throat all by him lonesome because they have priority in every other lane.
Dude, TynX just walked over the Scuttle Shrine, right? He just didn't care. He's like, yeah, okay.
What can Zanzarah do? Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do, buddy? Now he's able to zone Szygenda off the tower with the rotation up from Vétheo as well, using that priority. And it's even going to drop the Herald. I feel like they want to take 2 plates off and then instantly destroy that tower here.
Might actually be able to do so. They got a lot of damage already. Pretty much wanted to take the plates beforehand, where, you know, the extra armor and the resistances it gets when you take these plates. Then pop it, get the charge, take the turret.
Bando's going to be looking for TP in bot side as Rogue set up the dive.
Trying to see if they can make a play on the other half of the map. They know they've lost out. They could even get the TP coming in for Szygenda, but it's going to be the TP already popped by Bando, getting a little bit of damage. Here comes Czekolad into the back line, but Call of the Forge God is going to be able to get a huge knock-up and take a kill on to Zanzarah. They're all underneath the turret, and they have to be able to escape. They've gotten Bando so low, but not able to execute that kill. It is a 1-for-1 trade.
Bando with the knockups right there. Unfortunately for them, Szygenda was tanking the tower the entire time, and they didn't have the damage follow-up. Szygenda still just trying to interrupt the resets, but TynX was able to secure 2 towers in the top side, so it will still be a favorable trade for LDLC overall.
They get a huge jump in gold from that play. 10 minutes into the game, and they have a 4,000 gold lead, Ender. That is absurd.
I mean, let's look at TynX.
TynX has nearly doubled. Oh, no.
It's a shame he's not playing any other champion not named Trundle.
This is true. If he's playing something else, it probably would be...
and by the way, Hades just got
the
Mystique's flash in a 1v2 situation.
I mean, he would have gotten the kill easily. There's no doubt in my mind that if that had connected, he would have gotten the kill. But let's look at that dive again. It is well done on LDLC's side. They know the play is happening. They channel TP first.
Yeah, it's a 5v3 though, so it's a little bit difficult for them. And again, as good as these knockups look, and they do get the kill on towards Zanzarah, it is Szygenda who then picks up the turret aggro, and with Yasuo going down first, Hades losing his life, they couldn't quite get the extra damage they needed to be able to find Mystiques. But with how powerful they are, watch and learn as they just zone Rogue away from this bot lane tower. Rogue certainly should have looked to match the swap and send their duo towards the top side of the map, because now they are just being denied so much. Woolite will be unable to farm.
Oh no.
TynX will. Oh no, Mystiques gets trolled a bit by Woolite there too.
Thankfully, he didn't get spotted. Well, I think he did get spotted, but it was too late for them to actually pull the trigger and try to see if they can kill Mystiques. Plus, it's a Rakan. They're just like, whatever. Look at Hades bot lane. He's just gonna be.
Can I see their gold again, observers,
I would like to see the gold too, because this is a nasty story so far.
As a jungle main, I just like seeing that lead with TynX over Zanzarah. It just makes me happy.
Well, let's see if Zanzarah is going to be able to catch up a little bit. They have help coming in. Already pop a couple ults. Going to be able to get the stun on the Bando. Even get the knock-up that they need to. Give the kill over to the Crocodile, so he'll be a little bit happy. YellOwStaR, TynX, they're a bit late for the fight, so they do have to back off that one.
Ah, okay. So LDLC starting to make a bit of mistakes right here. Of course, Bando dying in the top lane, unnecessary. But to see 3 members actually moving on over, a big mistake, because now Woolite is just getting
flash.
so
there he goes.
killed.
Trying to get away, but look at this. TynX is so big right now. This Trundle. This is I'll
Tank, by the way.
I'll let you know, Trundle is one of my favorite champs to play. I actually loved playing him way back before they reworked him, way back in the day, because he was absolutely absurd and nobody believed me. But he is someone early game. He has good base damage. His Chomp does so much damage, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see TynX do so well. I like it. I know everyone else hates it, but I like it.
Wait a second, Bando.
Bando, you're 2 levels down, and you're trying to fight Czekolad. I do respect the play. You're trying to see what you can get, but it's going to be the Ignite already taken away. Look at this. When you try to fight someone 2 levels ahead of you, it doesn't pan out too well for you.
I mean, he's lucky Czekolad missed the free Q right there.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he just got solo kill for free.
Right. That's why I'm like, yeah, you just don't do that. Come on, man. 2 levels down. let him have the wave.
It's like TynX is like the classic jungle, right? Absolutely crushing the map, and those top players like randomly taking the 1v1s. He's like, why? Why does this? Why me? Just accept the carry. It's fine.
Is it then when the guy like spams in chat like, "Where's my jungle? GG, camped all game." Is that what it is?
No, it's okay because he got Czekolad's Ignite.
Okay.
Worth.
Okay. I'll let you have that. Because right now we're going back Hades into the top lane. Has the Phantom Dancer, so going to be a little bit more difficult to kill than he already was. And right now I'm looking at the map, trying to see what LDLC have that they can get. There's only 1 plate left at 14 minutes into the game.
The 15 plate dream is dead.
Right, they're not going to be able to get that, but they got 14 of the plates, so I'll take that as an absolute win if I'm then. And Woolite has to immediately Arcane Shift the moment he sees Pillar come down.
Yeah, we'll have to give up this tower as well. I think the play for LDLC now is probably, well, I was going to say go for the Scuttle Crab down inside of the river, but maybe it's play bot side because Zanzarah looking for the gank, but LDLC can collapse and there's no tower here.
Nothing to fall back to.
They're lucky that Vétheo wasn't willing to go down. He was hitting a ward right there. So without the damage dealers, LDLC didn't want to like fully commit on down towards there. But hey, there's a Rift Herald spawning in 10 seconds. They push that mid wave. They can pick that up, steal away, camps out of Zanzarah's jungle, and then look to use that to knock down a tier 2 in the future.
Something we do need to bring up is, with this composition that Rogue have drafted for themselves, they have to find these picks. They have to find these plays because they have no wave clear to back it up. So when they kill someone like Bando who steps a little bit too far forward, that's great. But look at what they trade on the other side of the map.
They get a Herald, baby.
Always trading something. That's pretty much what's going wrong right now for Rogue because they don't have lane priority.
I will say, Magical, will say, I don't think they need to trade. When they're in this type of position with 5k gold lead, you don't need to trade heroes. Oh no, Woolite is dead.
No,
He's so dead.
He's not going to be able to get out of that one. Once you have Pillar, the Pillar does briefly give a knock-up, so Last Breath followed suit. It's unfortunate. There was no chance of getting out of that one. The moment you see Trundle running really fast at you, you know you're dead.
Yeah, as soon as he had to Arcane Shift before TynX was on the screen, you knew he was donezo, especially without the flash. So, hey, it's time for LDLC to take a classic 16-minute Inhibitor Tower.
This is more what we expect from them. Game 1 looked very weak out of them, Ender. This game is looking like the classic LDLC that we've been seeing throughout this European Masters, where they're able to clap back. They look very strong off the back of early plays from TynX.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Is like LDLC, they're dominating in the early game, but their composition is also totally fine taking it later, right? You're always going to have the insurance of that Cassiopeia. Hades is just about to reach 100% crit chance on this Yasuo as well, with the promise that there's going to be Ornn items later on too. So they have won through every single part, and TynX so big as a factor in this one with a super early Knight's Vow as well to make sure Vétheo or Hades, whoever he puts that on, is never going to be able to die.
Just leave Bando alone. Come on, he's a tank. The poor guy just wants to be able to get those Ornn items, and he's only level 9 right now. Wait, maybe YellOwStaR.
YellOwStaR.
Gonna be able to get the pick onto YellOwStaR, who's trying to put wards for Bando, and this time, instead of Bando dying, it's YellOwStaR. Or
Bando die as wait, they're teleporting now?
Okay, I don't know if you need to use a teleport, or maybe because TynX is on the other side. Here comes the Ornn ult. He's gonna die? No, not before he's able to get the second part of it. And now the turn on to TynX, who's way too far, has a huge gold bounty. He might be pretty big, but against 4 members of Rogue, you're not gonna be able to fight back against that. Shut down gold gifted to Czekolad.
All right, it's ARAM in the bot lane one more time here. This is turning into the EU Masters Classic. I've seen it too many times now, Magical. It's just randomly fighting bots. Like, YellOwStaR dies immediately. Bando is obviously going to die, but still, they're like, what if TynX comes down and joins into the fight too? Like, let's just hand him a shutdown.
Not just that. Who did they hand the shutdown to, Under? Who?
Looks like Czekolad.
And who's Czekolad playing?
Akali.
Akali. What does Akali do in fights?
Use her ability?
She kills the back line. She kills the back line. And right now, for LDLC, you don't want someone who's going to be able to kill your back line to do that. She's now looking very strong.
Analysis is so easy when you ask me these like true or false questions.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to make you look smarter, Ender. I know it's a hard thing for me to do, but I've been doing it successfully so far. As Rogue are going to look to see if they can set up a fight around this Infernal Dragon. They don't want to give Infernal Soul over to the side of LDLC, but they're going to take a lot of damage. They're going to lose Czekolad in the fight. Even get away from Glacial Fissure. TynX not done. Wants to see if he can get the pillar to be able to cut off the retreat from Rogue. They don't have turrets in mid lane to be able to run to. Woolite trying to see if he can divert the attention, flashing away, has Arcane Shift. There's the pillar, too late to be able to get
tower
that.
here.
They got the exhaust, and they're trying to see who else they can chase onto. They've gone really far to try to get this kill onto Woolite. Hades will be able to use the minions to get out, too.
What is going on here? LDLC running all the way into their base, and again, they're not going to take that mid inhibitor. They're just going to walk on down here, make sure they get all the gold from these towers. You also have Hades stealing away the red buff too, so it's not like Rogue are going to be able to farm anytime soon on the map. It's interesting because Rogue keep trying to force, which I feel like because of their composition, they are almost forced into doing, but with the deficit they have been put at in LDLC, the inevitability of them playing around the Baron, about them playing for a soul and closing this game off, it's looking a little bit desperate now for Rogue.
It is. I do respect the fight around the soul to make sure you don't give that over, since LDLC have been able to do so well in this early and mid game, where if you make it so that around 24 minutes they're going to be able to have Infernal Soul, you're going to lose regardless. Put up a fight around that, but now you're still down almost 5,000, a little bit more than 5,000 gold to LDLC. Baron going to spawn up in less than 30 seconds that you have to fight over. When you have this big of a deficit for Rogue, you got to find a pick again, and you're going to have to hope that LDLC are too far.
Yeah, Rogue are doing what they need to do, which is just hide inside of a bush and try to kill people, and it might work again. Okay. Oh, smart Hades.
Smart Hades. This is why he has such a good KDA. This is why he's only died 4 times this entire tournament. Or is it 5 times now?
It's 5 times now.
5 times. Died once last
time.
Got
a death.
So.
Oh, wait. This is actually a pretty sweet flank. I still don't think it's enough for them to win a fight. Also, Szygenda doesn't have teleport, so.
No. This is a 45.
Trying to steal it.
And they steal True Shot Barrage, but look at Zanzarah completely zoned away by Hades. Here comes the engage inside the Baron pit, trying to see what they can get if they can at least kill TynX, but they can't. It's going to smoke down, kill off everyone else inside there. Rogue, they tried desperately, but everyone except for Szygenda, who's not even a part of the fight, going to die. And that means that LDLC will just push down mid and try to get an early victory to make Game 3 a reality.
Yeah, LDLC have certainly turned things around after Game 1. This one did not look even close. Sure, Rogue found a couple of picks, but TynX absolutely crushed the early game jungle matchup. Super, you know, hard camping down towards that bottom side of the map to get Hades this massive advantage. And now they're going to be looking to take their second inhibitor at 21 minutes.
They're playing it clean. They're not risking too much. Zanzarah, hello.
Dude.
Okay, well, they're continuing to fight, too. They're not done. They're saying, all right, might as well just have everyone pile into the clown car. Try to see what we can get, but it's not looking too good. And LDLC are going to love this. Continue to find more kills, make their KDAs look that much better, taking down Czekolad, giving the kills over to Hades, getting a triple knockup as well. Not gonna be the Venta-kill. It's only a triple kill for Hades, but it doesn't matter. It's a clean ace. They have the minions. They're gonna be able to make it a game 3.
Man, it feels real bad when your pentakill gets stolen by a Bard and an Ornn right there for Hades on the Yasuo. But LDLC play a beautiful game to tie things up.
They really did. And you gotta give credit where credit is due to how they were able to play that in the early game, especially around TynX. Nearly 100% kill participation in Game 2. A 22-minute victory to force Game 3 in the semifinals to determine who is going to go to the finals of European Masters.
Honestly, after Game 1, I was like, well, LDLC, TynX is good, but it's not good enough to win US series. But after this matchup, with how hard they crushed in the jungle and around that bottom side of the map, and how quickly they were able to close out that game, this team is looking real scary going into our deciding matchup between these two squads.
And we're going to have to see how the draft is going to look, but for now, we're going to toss it to a break, so that way the analyst desk with Trevor at the helm will be able to break down Game 2 and let us know what they think is going to happen for Game 3.
You've seen our name on the jerseys of amazing teams. Now, we are supporting one more. One that you don't see live on TV. But they are the best team in the world, and they are playing the toughest game. Maybe they're not performing in front of millions, but they are under the pressure of an entire planet. And they don't have fans cheering their names, but they have patients who will forever remember them. And they also need your help to win this game. Stay home like a pro.
And welcome back to EU Masters Spring 2020. Quick shot here, joined by Foxdrop and Celtic Tiger. Ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, we have a series on our hands. And before we break down how LDLC picked up the Game 2 victory, I want to ask everybody in Twitch chat to go jump into the poll that we're going to throw up right now. And the question we're going to ask is, who will be our first team in the final? The French representatives, LDLC, who have not won an EU Masters since spring of 2019, or another Polish team in the final, a region that has not won a final ever? That's the question we're asking Twitch chat. I'm going to ask my analyst that in a moment or two. Let's talk about the fact that LDLC just won a game in 21 minutes and 50 seconds. Honestly, they stomped Rogue, and it all started from the bottom lane. Both Foxdrop and Celtic Tiger were bang on. They said they wanted to see jungle impact changes and bot lane changes, and Foxdrop, TynX, right out the gate, made an impact.
Yeah, this was a big shift for LDLC in this game 1 compared to the previous game, game 2, sorry. This right here, just keep looking at the top side right there. Keep looking at Zanzarah versus TynX, because that is what makes this play. Like, this whole entire 2v2 is so equal, apart from the jungle difference. And the way that Rogue has drafted this game is you draft Rek'Sai for early game, for these kind of plays, but when you're getting bullied away, like TynX was able to do, it completely nullifies the whole point of this Rek'Sai. Now suddenly you're playing on the back foot, you're not going to be scaling into the game like the Jarvans and Sejuani do, and that just really sucks for Rogue and for Zanzarah specifically.
Yeah, especially when you're looking to have this really impactful early game, to have your lanes going this poorly as well, looking towards this bot lane specifically. Yes, it's getting TynX down there, but also picking something as aggressive as Yasuo Braum and absolutely delivering. That was something I love to see from this French side.
And I mean, I'm looking back at Hades' games played in the LFL. He doesn't have a huge number of games played, only one Yasuo performance before this, but it was very, very good, and it begs the question, what does Rogue do now? Game 1 was fairly competitive, fairly back and forth, and Rogue sort of won the team fights. But Foxdrop, what do you want to see really from either of these teams? And build into me a little bit of a prediction, based on what we've seen so far. Who do you think is going to win Game 3, and how are they going to do it?
Well, firstly, I think if Rogue draft the way they drafted last game, then I don't think I put my money on them, to be honest with you. What I like to see out of Rogue, and what we saw out of the group stage, we saw out of the tiebreakers is, and the quarterfinals, is when Zanzarah is put on a pick that enables his team, that kind of facilitates his team and plays with the team, then he has success. He's very often behind in levels in the early game. He's playing versus TynX, who's always going to lock in those early game bullies, and so it's fine. Just get rid of that early game, weather the storm, and then you'll come back into it later on. The first game we saw that with the Jarvan pick, but this game, in the second game when you were playing Rek'Sai, there wasn't anything to come back from, and then it's just, okay, so now you're in trouble, you're basically playing a 4v5, and yeah, just for me, it all starts in that jungle. Get yourself a good matchup, and pray for the best against TynX.
And you have to remember, they're choosing red side as well, so to get a good jungle matchup, you have Trundle coming in, and that's where some of the difficulty is, trying to counterpick Trundle when all you want to do is lock tanks.
Well, Foxdrop was saying he would love to have seen that, Gragas. Just for, your information, side selection, LDLC will be on the blue side, Rogue will once again be on the right side. Foxdrop, you dodged my prediction element of the question. Right. And now I'm going to ask Foxdrop and Celtic Tiger, who will be our first finalist? The fans have voted. 62% of our Twitch chat viewers believe that Rogue are going to EU Masters Finals tomorrow. Foxdrop, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I can't go against the people. if there's a 62% vote for Rogue, then hell, I'm on board. Rogue's gonna take it, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Celtic Tiger.
I'm on the other side. I don't mind joining an underappreciated side over here of LDLC, who looked incredibly strong in Game 2. I'm comfortable seeing them go ahead into Game 3. I think, fact is, they've gotten the same side. Yes, they outdrafted Rogue, but fact is they still have that comfort available. I think the only thing Rogue could do to respond is try to get a better matchup for Czekolad. Giving away the priority early in the mid lane while you're picking such an aggressive jungler really did confuse me.
Now, Foxdrop, what would it mean for a Polish region to have potentially an all-Polish finals? I talked about it a moment ago. LFL, they won in 2019. The DACH region with Prime League, they won last summer. Spain has won. Those are the only 3 regions. So we could have a repeat victor if France does. We could have a new champion in Poland, and also all of these organizations. None of them have won before, so we will have a brand new champion.
Yeah, for Poland it's huge because the Ultra Liga, we always have high expectations for them. They never quite deliver, but especially for this squad, it's like, if you can show that you're better than the 2 seeds that you got this time round in EU Masters, like, you know, the expectations were relatively low from a very technical standpoint, right? They didn't get as much opportunity as the other teams, and they're still putting it forward. They're still producing talent and top tier teams. Then, you know, I think it'll be great for Ultraliga and for Poland specifically.
All right, so we do have to go to an ad break. We'll be coming back with Game 3. Let's find out whether or not France is overrated or is Poland outdated. LDLC have come close before, but they've never made it to the final. AGO, Rogue, and Kick have the weight of an entire region on their shoulders as Poland look to make it to the final for the first time since 2018. Only one of them will earn that spot. Find out who it'll be in Game 3.